perhaps unlike in previous years, the concentration, the acceleration, the fight for relevance, I think here, perhaps playing out most evidently in the CES this year.
Yeah, the big one to watch is Google. Google never really bothered to turn up to CES. They were running around in the background. Now they are going to have a big presence for the first time in many years. And if you look at what Google is doing, it's kind of an example of what's going on more broadly in technology. They used to be mostly or almost purely a software company, internet company, and now they have a huge consumer hardware business that they're trying to grow very, very rapidly. Then, of course, they have a smart speaker, which is part of that too, and that competes with Amazon's Echo, and that's probably the consumer electronic gadget that's been the biggest hit in the last couple of years. So there's going to be a lot of competition on show at CES in that sector for sure.
For many years, it seemed like no one cared about gadgets. It was only apps, and the only gadget that did matter was the latest iPhone, and maybe the Samsung or whatever also was happening at the same time. What is the category that is most exciting in terms of like actual consumer demand right now?
I think if you're talking about right now, it's probably the smart speaker. If you're talking about in 2 or 3 years, it's probably going to be augmented reality glasses. Those are probably the two main things. Virtual reality has had some struggles. It's not really been accepted as a mainstream thing. There's going to be some efforts at making that mainstream at CES this year, but a lot of the future focus is going to be on AR for sure.
Yeah, we certainly don't hear as much about Oculus, even the lower end Oculus that Facebook is planning to release. Alistair, you talked about this speaker, the smart speaker. Of course, that brings us to Amazon. Is Amazon going to be setting up a booth here at CES, given that they have the best-selling Alexa? Echo, which goes by the name Alexa. Yeah. Sorry.
That's right.
Very confusing.
They're probably not going to have an official booth, but they're going to be. Our reporter spoke to some people familiar with Amazon's plans, and they're going to have a large presence in the background, which often happens when they don't have an official presence. And same could be said for Facebook as well.
Say that again.
They'll have spies.
Exactly, just in case anyone missed that. Alistair, I feel like for the past few years, it's been the automakers and the technology associated with that's really been the flag bearer at CES. To what extent are they still going to be very much a hot topic, particularly if we're talking about artificial intelligence and autonomy as far as vehicles is concerned?
Yeah, there's going to be a big presence for the automakers still. Ford is keynoting one of the major presentations, and the main issue here, which is kind of a broader theme about why CES is important, a lot of the new exciting technology that is coming out, even if it is more software based, it needs specialized hardware to work really well. So self-driving cars is a perfect example where you need LiDAR, which is a special way of sensing the surroundings of a car, and you need very, very powerful chips to power all these things. So, for instance, NVIDIA is going to have a strong presence again this year.